Today we have a trigonometry problem. That is, we have to evaluate the expression over here. That is sine of cosine inverse of x. And cosine inverse of x can also be called as arc cosine x. Okay, to start solving this problem, first let me assign a new variable for this cosine inverse of x. That is, let theta equals to cosine inverse of x. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the trigonometric function cosine on both sides. Then I'm getting cosine theta on the left side. On the right side, I'm getting cosine of cosine inverse of x. Okay, now cosine theta equals to, by property, whenever I take cosine of cosine inverse of x, it is equal to just x. Okay, now I got that cosine theta equals to x. Okay, now I consider there is a denominator 1 for this x. So then I'm getting cosine theta equals to x over 1. According to Staccato, the formula to find the value of cosine, so is the adjacent or hypotenuse. So this x represents adjacent side and this 1 represents a hypotenuse. Okay, now let me draw a right triangle over here. Let me draw it. Okay, so here we have a right triangle and the right angle is over here. And let me assume this angle measure theta over here. Then the other side which is opposite to the angle measure theta is called opposite side. And the side which is opposite to the right angle is called hypotenuse. And this is adjacent side. Okay, so according to the stuff what we have here, the length of the adjacent side is x and the length of the hypotenuse is just 1. So we can replace this hypotenuse by 1 and we can replace this adjacent side by x. Okay, now I have to find the length of the opposite side. Let me assume k as the length of the opposite side. Okay, how do you have to find the length of the opposite side? So in this right triangle, we can use Pythagorean theorem. There is a square of the hypotenuse is equal to sum of the squares of other two sides. That is, if I square the lengths of these two legs and add them, it is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. That is x square positive k square equals to 1 square according to Pythagorean theorem. X square positive k square equals to the evaluation of 1 square is just 1. So my aim is to find the value of k. So for that I have to isolate k. Let me subtract x square from both sides. So this positive x square, negative x square will cancel. I'm getting k square equals to 1 negative x square. Now my aim is to get the value of k. So I have to get rid of this square. So for that I am taking square root on both sides. The square root and square root cancelled. I'm getting k equals to square root of 1 negative x square. So that is actually k represents the length of the opposite side. Now we can replace that k over here in this triangle by the one we got which is equivalent to k, that is square root of 1 negative x square. Okay, now let's proceed to the problem. Our aim is to evaluate this trigonometric expression, that is sine of cosine inverse of x. Let me write over here sine of. So for this cosine inverse of x, we have assumed theta. So we can replace this cosine inverse of x by theta. So then it becomes sine theta. Okay, now let's evaluate the value of sine theta in this right triangle because we have angle measure theta over here. According to Staccato, sine theta is equal to what? The formula is opposite over hypotenuse. So here in this triangle, considering the angle measure theta, so the opposite side is square root of 1 negative x square and the hypotenuse is just 1 over 1. So finally I'm getting square root of 1 negative x square. So now I got the value of sine of cosine inverse of x. So that is equal to square root of 1 negative x square.